Hello, good evening. Good evening, everyone. We are about to start our Monday Live session. Please just give us here a couple minutes because I'm waiting for my partners, Sergio and Lionel, and then we're gonna start our session, okay? All right, they are coming.
Good evening.
Good evening, Lionel. Welcome to our session. All good here, and we're just waiting for
Well,
Sergio. In the
well,
meantime,
he's
I think
joining,
I'm
I
already
think.
here.
Here it is. Good evening, good
well,
evening.
good evening. So today it was
Good
fast, huh?
evening.
It was really fast. Okay, so um, let's start our Monday live session. So here we are again for our 30 minutes chat and engaging with our beloved visitors, our guests, our friends, because this is what we like to do, talk about Portugal, especially the unplugged side of Portugal. And today, like the post said, we're gonna dive into, let's say, safe alternatives to explore Portugal because, of course, we are facing some bad weather, that's for sure. And we have a river of storms coming from the other side of the Atlantic. I don't want to say they are coming from the US and Canada, but that's exactly where they are coming from. So they cross the Atlantic and they hit here, Europe. And we've been struggling a bit with rain, winds. And then, of course, it's been spoiling a bit our time here. Okay, but before we start, my name is Gabriel Lima from GL Tours, Travel Algarve, based here in southern Portugal. And with me, we have Leonel Rodrigues from Desirable Portugal Tours, based in nearby Lisbon, the beautiful place of Malveira, covering the whole country too. And from Porto, Dorvale, northern Portugal, Sergio Costa from EV Tours. And well, it's always a pleasure to have you here, guys, and talk with you. And of course, we're going to pay attention in all our guests because people, they will bring their questions. Guys, so before we start, just let me invite our guests to send your questions. We're going to try to answer live if we can, and if we cannot respond all questions, then of course we're going to kindly suggest you to post original posts on our group, because then of course not just us, everybody else will be willing to and able to maybe to provide you with great tips, advices, suggestions. Okay, so let's dive into our topic today. And well, last week I remember we started with Sergio, so today we're gonna start with Lionel. Lionel, how is the weather around Lisbon and Sinter? I've
Good
been hearing
evening.
about some. I've been hearing about some floods by the Tagus River.
Yeah, well, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you as well. Yeah, well, you just summed it up. We are facing some storms. The things in the next few hours might be a bit rough over here. I live in an area that it's quite exposed to the winds, so I'm around at 250 to 160 meters of altitude. But my house where I live, it's a little bit on the top of a hill, so I have always wind around here. And when it rains, we really get affected by the rain over here. But the soils are soaked around. This is a countryside. This is mostly farmland. And driving around, we see the soils full of water. In some places, the fields are pretty much like a lake already. So the things got back to the kind of winters we remember having a few decades ago. And with this, there's a few recommendations I really want to give you. The winds are strong, and one of the beloved areas that people like to visit the mountain of Sintra and some areas with forests, well, I would very personally advise everybody to avoid it for now, because soils are soaked. Really, the soil is very, very wet, and the winds are so strong that the roots of the trees, they cannot hold the trees upright. So I already read just a couple of days ago that some of the roads around Sintra on the top of the mountain, they have been closed because of some trees who fell already. And with the weather going like this in the next few days, expect some disruptions if you are planning to visit Sintra in the next few days. And expect some disruptions over there with road closures or even some monument closures. We had just a few days ago a few monuments that were closed due to the bad weather. So, in fact, it's something that I really recommend to be careful with and to always assess with the local authorities and all the civil protection, city halls, town halls, and even with the official websites of the monuments to check if they are open or not. But even if the weather, plays the trick, there are always alternatives that people can take and to not really, compromise their travel and their days. And as I mentioned, Sintra, I know that everybody wants to go there and visit some very iconic places and palaces. But, if the weather doesn't allow to get there, or if it's really a safety issue, of course, safety, it's a paramount. Safety, it's more important than anything. So it's really, really something that people need to assess. But there's always some alternatives. And one of them that has been very helpful for a lot of travelers because of closures in Sintra, it's the Queluz National Palace. And Queluz National Palace, it's a place that most people end up missing because they don't read about it, or it doesn't come in every travel blog or travel article. But in fact, it's a place that totally deserves a visit. It's totally worth the visit. If it's not really raining a lot, well, the gardens, okay, walk just quickly through the gardens to give a quick look. But Queluz, it's one of the recommendations. But there are more. And another one, and I've been telling this a few times, I've been talking about this place a few times that a lot of people end up forgetting about. It's Ajuda National Palace. Okay, so this is in Lisbon, and Ajuda National Palace, it's a 5-minute drive from the majority of the monuments of Belém. If you are at the famous bakery Pastéis de Belém, or if you are at Jerónimos Monastery, a 5-minute Uber ride will take you to Ajuda National Palace. It's an incredible monument, and with the extra feature that it now has the museum of our royal crown jewels. So if the weather is playing some tricks, and if you really want to visit some luxurious royal palace, Ajuda National Palace, it's a great option, with the bonus of being next to the royal crown jewel museum. Then you have, if the weather gets a little bit better, you have a few gardens then you can visit right next to it. One of them, it's the Tropical Botanic Garden, or the Botanic Garden of Ajuda as well. So you have a few parks near the Ajuda National Palace that you can visit. And before I throw the ball to my colleagues, a lot of families travel with kids, and of course I know that it's hard to entertain the kids at the moment. If the weather is not great, kids might be not so happy. Let me give you a good alternative to some popular places. Most people consider that the Oceanário of Lisbon, it's the place to go with kids if the weather goes bad, if the weather isn't great. Well, go to the total opposite end of the city. Technically, this is not in Lisbon, but it's right at the edge of the city of Lisbon, and you have Vasco da Gama Aquarium. It's one of the oldest aquariums in the world. It's more than 100 years old. And very few people know about it, or very few people consider it on their travels or on their itineraries. And it can be a great place to take your kids if the weather is not great. With the bonus of being pretty close to Belém area, so the Jerónimos Monastery, Torre de Belém, the Belém Tower, and so on and so on. A part of some of the museums that you have over there, Maritime Museum, the Planetarium, and so on. You can take this this advice to go to the Vasco da Gama Aquarium, and it might be a pleasant experience, not so crowded as some of the other places, and it's a great alternative if the weather isn't great with kids. So, that said, I'm gonna send the ball towards Sergio, and then, we'll see what Sergio has to tell us, and then we hear Gabriel as well. Sergio, how are you feeling today?
Yeah, well, nice and warm and cozy in my apartment. Fortunately for us, fortunately, unfortunately, the storms always hit the north first, so we are already going through a little bit of bad weather right now. But my apartment is north facing and the bad weather comes from the south, so I'm still relatively sheltered and safe right now, which is all that matters for me. So I'm seeing the storm outside of my window right now, and at least I'm safe. I'm indoors. I'm warm, feeling very good. Well, from my end, people coming to the north, what can you do to brave this bad weather, to avoid and to turn what could potentially or otherwise be less than ideal experience into something that can be a little bit more memorable? Obviously, we're going to have to focus on indoor experiences, but just before touching base on that, let me just tell you this. There are some iconic views over here in the city that I feel are well deserving of a visit if you take the appropriate precautions and cautions. So, like for example, if the weather is very bad, don't risk it. There's no point in putting yourself at risk to get that pretty picture. But a couple of days ago, I actually shared a post about the Ingrid storm that was hitting Porto, and the picture that I chose to illustrate that one was precisely of a big wave crashing into the Felgueiras lighthouse in the Foz area. It's a very beautiful spectacle to see the waves crashing along the Atlantic edge, not the Douro River, but the Atlantic edge of the city. So we're talking western Porto over here. But if the weather is too terrible, don't risk it. There's no point in it. And respect what the authorities are saying. They're looking after you, they're doing it for your own good. But, it's always a nice thing if you can watch it from a safe distance to see the waves crashing onto rocks. And even though it's a somewhat of a violent spectacle for me, it actually is rather calming and soothing. And I know that I'm not alone. There's a ton of people who. Who also enjoy seeing big waves crashing, not big waves as in Nazaré, for example, and that was definitely a bad call for the people who went there. I think you guys also saw the videos of people
Mm-hmm.
going down to the fort and or coming back up. The wind was so bad that they had to be on all fours, just crawling back the road. Not one of the smartest decisions.
No.
Nevertheless, this is outdoors. Indoors, what can you see? Well, in Porto, things are going to revolve pretty much around museums. And there is one that people often overlook that is not, it's typically a, um, a high school visit for the kids over here in Porto, which is the Soares dos Reis National Museum. But if people haven't gone there in a while, it's actually a well worth visit because it's been revamped very recently and it has all sorts of paintings, pottery, statues, etc., ranging from the 17th century, no, actually 16th century, all the way up to the 20th century with a ton of interesting stuff to see over there. Serralves, beautiful gardens, but if the weather is bad, skip the gardens. Contemporary Art Museum, uh, designed by Cesar Vieira, which is a Pritzker Prize winner. But for people coming with kids, here's a new one for you. Wonder Sense. It's very close to Serralves and it has some very fantastic and themed rooms over there. One of them is what they call the kaleidoscope room, which is basically a room that is completely covered in mirrors with lights hanging from the ceiling and whatnot. And so it's the kind of thing that you sometimes see in movies where people bang their heads into the mirrors. And this is just one of the many rooms that they have over there. So kids are going to love this, the Wonder Sense Museum. For the soccer fans, FC Porto Museum right at the stadium. Uh, I dare say that it's probably the best team in Portugal, maybe even in the world. But I'm not much of a soccer fan. I can see two persons right here disagreeing with me.
Well, you
So
are saying soccer, so
Yeah.
we
yeah,
easily spot you don't understand much about football.
that's true. That's true. But I do love my Porto though.
Okay,
So
okay.
second
Well,
thing,
I like port wine, port wine.
there we go. So yeah, Porto wine. Why not a tasting in one of the cellars? Visit the World of
Yeah,
Wine
here
Museum.
we go.
Fantastic
Yeah.
restaurants over there. I always tell people, good thing that we have the Porto wine cellars because considering the weather that we typically have over here in the city, if we didn't have the wine, well, people over here in Porto, we would always be cranky. And just reminding me, going back a little bit, you were talking, Gabriel, about the atmospheric rivers. The little unknown fact is that over here in Porto, it sometimes rains more than it rains in London. And the National Park of Peneda Gerês, people often don't realize this, but it's actually one of the rainiest forests in the world. It rains more in the National Park of Peneda Gerês, and the north of Portugal is actually going to be one of the rainiest places in the world this week, and it rains more in that park than it rains in some rainforests of the world. The reason why we don't have all of that beautiful lush vegetation is just because of our latitude over here. Because we definitely have the rain, but the climate is not the right one for us to have rainforests. And well, going back to other stuff that you can do, one of my favorite things to do over here in the city, swimming pools. I used to be a swimmer myself, and okay, for competitive swimming, I love a colder swimming pool because it helps cooling down your body after the effort. But if I just want to relax, well, a heated swimming pool, and we have a couple of hotels and spa that offer spa experiences over here in the city. So, for example, the Villa Galé Porto is a very beautiful one. It's even in the name of this next hotel, the Sheraton Porto Hotel and Spa. So you can book a
Mhm.
spa treatment over there. Porto Palacio Congress and Spa. So it's all one of the things that you can do. Treat yourself to a spa evening or a spa afternoon. Just relax and wind a little bit. And while the weather is banging on your door, the bad weather is hitting your door. It's good to know that you're warm and cozy and relaxing with all of those well, let's call it perks and being spoiled, being pampered a little bit. So, restaurants, also a lot of things to explore over here. And bad weather always calls for hearty food. Francesinha, the cachorrinho, the Santos de Pernil, all of the staples of the city are also going to be very interesting things to do. Then there's also some things that you can do, basically just heading out of the city. I usually recommend people to take a train ride, go somewhere else, and treat the train ride as the destination itself. It's not about the location where you're going, it's actually just about getting out and seeing the countryside and seeing the views change through the window of the train. If you want to do something more local, well, you have the tram, not the train. So there are some lines that run around along the river that you can take. And it's also a beautiful way to stay dry and to see a little bit more of the city using a different transportation. And yeah, those are some of the pretty things that you can do over here. But I also want to touch on the pastries because, well, we're in Portugal after all, and the only pastry, or I should rather say, the pastel de nata is not the only pastry that we have over here. And
Oh,
so
yes, agree.
we do have some delicious pastries over here in the country. And from the top of my mind, one of the ones that I used to go a lot that is near the swimming pool where I used to work is Paparoca da Foz. It's right in front of the river. Well, Foz basically means you're at the meeting at the place where the river meets the ocean. Very beautiful place. If the weather over there is good, you also have, let me check back on my database over here, the Doce Alto. Dos Salt is more of a chain, but they really do very nice pastries, and you can find a few of them spread throughout the city. And what's really good over there are the ungarus, which are basically just butter and egg cookies dipped into chocolate, really good. Or also the sponge cake, the pão de ló, is very nice over there. Casa Pardal, very known for their egg-based desserts as well. And I was reading some stats about this pastry. every day they do 500 dozen eggs, 60 kilos of sugar, and 30 kilos of almonds, sorry, not every day, per week. So that's how much they put into their pastry. So 500 times 12, well, you do the math. I'm not going to do the math live over here. But yeah, that's a lot of pastries. So yeah, pastries, and I might add egg-based desserts. They go really, really well with tawny and white port. So this is one little treat for people over here. As for things that I would recommend doing with kids, well, I've already told you about the that museum, the Wonder Sense, which is a very interesting option. Look it up. I think you'll find some pictures, and you're going to see that it's really cool. Lionel, you mentioned the aquarium, the Vasco da Gama aquarium. It's a really nice option. We also have the sea life over here in Porto, but it kind of reminds me that the Vasco da Gama aquarium, people can actually visit the aquarium from the comfort of their sofa, because they actually have a Google Street View app or so that you can actually go through the entire museum to see if it's something that you'd like and to experience it even before you leave your house. So I'll preface by saying this, I'll end just by saying this. Going there in person and experience it in person, it's completely different experience from seeing it from the sofa. I have been there. I have been there, I think, more than 30 years ago, and I still remember that aquarium. So that goes to show that it's something that the kids will definitely remember. Over here in Porto, things to do. Well, it's going to be mostly about these museums and these activities that you can do a little bit indoors with them. So, for example, escape rooms are something or a fun activity to do as a family as well. The Salves Museum, even though it's more geared towards adults, I feel like it's going to be a good fit for kids as well. So these are a couple of my suggestions over here. Pastries, museums, taking different transportation, just enjoy the countryside from the comfort of a train or from a tram. It's going to be a great experience nonetheless. And for these rainy days, instead of wasting a day, you'll actually be adding different experiences and things that you haven't considered to your itinerary. So, Gabriel, what can we do on a rainy day on a destination, at a destination that is mostly known for the beaches?
Yeah, actually, sometimes it's a bit hard, but well, we have options too. Not as much as in Lisbon or Porto, of course, but there's things to do. But the first thing is, and I was here just checking the weather forecast on HIPMA, the official Portuguese forecast, and also on windy.com. So, for instance, we are waiting for some severe rain and wind tonight until dawn, which means, and this happens a lot here in the Algarve, I've been experiencing this in the past few days. We have like a first band or a first front of the storm that lasts maybe 3-4 hours and then dissipate, and then we have some sun. Or like today, it was a bit overcast, but it was mild, around 17, the wind gone, so it was actually pleasant. So I'm pretty sure that, for instance, tomorrow, after the rain we're gonna have throughout the night until dawn, it's gonna clear up a bit, so people might be able to enjoy a bit outdoors. And the same thing it's gonna happen on the Wednesday, because then the center of the storm is gonna hit Portugal, of course, starting from northern Portugal before midnight, and then we're gonna have here the peak again before dawn, maybe until 9 a.m. or so. This means that sometimes here in the Algarve, we have to be just a bit patient, because maybe we're gonna have a rain for about 3-4 hours and then it's gonna clear up, or maybe sometimes we're gonna have rain in the afternoon. And what do we have to do? Well, we have to be very tuned on the forecast. And well, if people they follow us, we are always sharing about the weather. So sometimes we just have to wake up early and then we go for a walk, do something, walking on a beach or doing something else before the rain starts hitting us again. That said, well, we have some alternatives, you know, like I said, we don't have as many museums or cafes or something, but we still have plenty. Altogether, the Algarve, we have 11 towns. Of course, the largest city with more culture offer, Faro, boasting 3 museums, more, you know, some nice cafes, shops, but also, you know, we can find museums, well, at least 2 museums come to my mind in Lagos, and some galleries too. The oh, this kind of museum for kids with the planets. No, I forgot the name. A science museum. So we have one in Lagos. We have another one in Faro. We have also here, for instance, where I live in Albufeira, a nice municipal museum. And besides that, of course, we have around 40 vineyards in Algarve. So for people who like to taste wine, why not visiting one or maybe 2 during the week? Maybe this is not what they were looking for, but they can do this. Guys, I have to be honest, you know, we don't have many visitors now in January. We have way more snowbirds. And of course, the snowbirds, these people, they are already used to deal with this, so they already know a bit the patterns. And but of course, it's been way more rainy this January than the previous years. So what they do, well, they do exactly what I do. So they're a bit patient, and then they go out when they have a chance, because of course the Algarve in summer, you know, the Algarve, it's pretty much about the beautiful beaches, and in the off season, still about the beaches and the outdoor activities. Indoor, well, what can we do more? Well, actually, we have a beautiful water park here, Aqua Show, and I just checked now, and they are operating. So, you know, for people who are visiting us with I don't know, kids, or even if they are just adults, they can go and enjoy a bit of, you know, some slides, some pools. Of course, it's not the same as going to a slide park in a water park in summer, but still pretty good, and it's a big, big park. Also, for instance, a good idea could be visiting the Villa Termal Caldas Monchiques, or the hot springs. You know, it could be a very good experience too. Besides that, we have some other spas. I myself, I already experienced 3. So the Serenity Spa by Pine Cliffs is a great one. And maybe 2 of my favorites are the Tivoli at the Tivoli Carvoeiro. They are very good, and the spa is quite nice too. And also maybe the best, I don't like the best, but maybe the 7 spas in Villa Moura by Hilton. So, I mean, if it's raining a lot in the afternoon or in the morning, why not doing something like this? And then maybe when you come out, the weather is already sunny. Not as sunny as we are used to here. And let me tell you something, I'm talking about this, and it's very hard for me to get hit by some kind of weather depression. But yes, I'm a bit done with this weather too, because, you know, January, it's the month where I have a bit more time for myself. I just run 5 tours maybe. Now in February, then it's gonna, the season is gonna start, and I'm gonna start having 3-4 tours per week. But yes, I didn't enjoy as much as I wanted. And indeed, I even postponed a very beautiful free hiking tour that I prepared. Everything is ready to invite my snowbird fellows or the visitors who are now here in the Algarve for this beautiful hiking trail. But I had to postpone because, of course, even if the rain stops, you know, the fields, they are soaked or they are slippery. And well, I know the old route, and I don't want to put people in danger. So hopefully the weather will get better in a few days. But yes, we locals here in the Algarve, we struggle a lot when we have over 2 days without sun. We start feeling like we are about to die or something. But then, you know, guys, as a guy who likes sciences, and I like to travel throughout the world, even if just through internet this morning. And you also know that I follow many YouTube live channels. And this morning I was watching some lives from Toronto, from New York, Washington, even Texas, Northern Germany, and sweet Lord, our weather here is quite good when we compare with the snowstorms and the ice storms that it's just hitting Northern Europe, Central Europe, almost the United States, and even in Florida. I checked there. It's freezing, the northern part of Florida. It's just freezing there. I don't know, Jacksonville and even Miami, sometimes it's like 10 Celsius or 8. So they can't just laugh about her. So this is it, guys. So we have to embrace the weather is the weather, and well, I used to say it's older than us, and we just have to respect the weather. And then we try to find options, solutions, so we can be happy with what we have. So as for the Algarve, be patient. We don't have like 10 or sometimes it happens, but it's very rare. Like the whole day raining like hell. It could happen one day, but just check the forecast closely because I'm pretty sure, for instance, tomorrow and on Wednesday, we're going to have some rain, wind, storms throughout the night, but maybe during the day, we're going to have some nice weather. And then we just have to take our chance and enjoy that that time frame. Yeah. Okay, guys, I don't know if there's someone here. I was talking, so I didn't see the comments. So let's see if we have some comments, and that's going to help these people here.
There's Wendy over here, hoping that it'll be better over here by February 15. Definitely.
Oh,
If
yes, yes,
this
yes.
weather over here holds for more than 2 to 3 weeks, well, people over here in Portugal, we Portuguese, even we will become a little bit mad at all of this weather. But no,
Yeah.
usually, historically, what happens over here is that when the weather is this persistent for this long, as it has been, it's been like this for what, maybe a week and a half now, 2 weeks,
Yes, 10 days,
close
10,
to
12 days. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
close to 2 weeks, and it's looking like it's going to be like this for another 2 weeks or so. But after that, usually historically, what
Yeah,
happens is that it clears historically.
yeah.
So we don't know because well, we just have we call it an old school snowstorm in Portugal over the weekend. Things that we thought that we would never see again over here, but here we are with Serra da Estrela covered with almost 2 meters, so 6 feet of snow, which we haven't seen that for a long time, and it's supposed to snow a little bit more over the during this week, so over the next 2 days or so. But yeah, if that's gonna happen, then chances are that by mid-February things will start to clear and it will start to look very good.
Yeah.
At least that's my optimistic forecast. I
No,
don't have a
I guess it's
I don't
gonna
have a
happen
crystal ball,
because
but
no, but I mean, I never in almost 53 years, like yeah, I remember the weather since 79 when I went to school, primary school. At least in the Algarve, I know that here it's a bit different. I don't rem I remember once October or December 1989. It was pretty much like this, like 50 days of rain here and there, massive floods, lots of problem. But then it doesn't happen quite often. So I think we have already here like 2, 3 weeks of rain. It's already out of the usual. So I'm not going to say abnormal, but it doesn't happen. Maybe this happens maybe once per each 20 years. I'm pretty sure by February 15, I want to celebrate my birthday on 15. And for sure, I want to go to the beach or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's going to improve the weather. It can't be worse. This is the worst we can get. So, so let's be optimistic, okay?
yeah, it only gets better from
Yeah,
now.
I think so. Yeah,
Might last a little bit more than what we are used to, but hey, that's
yeah,
just life. And especially after being under a drought, especially you, Gabriel, down in the Algarve,
yeah.
under a drought for 20 years, it's a little bit
Uh,
refreshing to have a little bit of rain.
it is. I think it was not that much, but yeah, let's say the past 20 years. But I think it was more severe between 14 and 24. I mean, a bit more than a year ago. last January, then we start having rain, but it wasn't enough. And then we have lots of rain in March, April, and now again since October, it's been really rainy. And I've been visiting all these reservoirs, and I feel happy to see so much water on the creeks, the streams, the springs. There's water everywhere. I'm driving 2, 3 days ago. I drove to Lagos and Sagres. In some spots, I've never seen so much water. You know, the soil is flooded, and this is good. This is good. And if what if I told you that we still need more rain in the Algarve? And why? Because underneath the aquifers, they are
Are dry,
recovering
yeah.
slowly. Because in 10, 20 years, the levels of the water went very, 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 very down. And we need more water because when we go, and we will go again through some droughts, we need this water from the aquifers. It's the backup plan. So I mean, I feel already annoying. I have to be honest. You know, I miss the sun and I miss the good weather. To be honest, I'm a bit. But I mean, I'm not gonna die. I lived in Germany for a year, and then I got this like a immune weather immune system. So I mean, this is nothing. Today I was walking here at Santa Eulalia. Then I think I posted also in our group, and I enjoyed there almost 2 hours. I felt the sun, a very shy sun, but it was warm. There was no wind, and I was just thinking, what the hell I'm complaining for? People are struggling all over Europe, all over North America, and what the hell? I mean, this is not perfect, like we are used to have this beautiful sunshine, but hey, let's enjoy what we have. So I'm an optimistical guy.
Yep.
Lionel, and what about the West? Sorry, guy. I like
No,
to
no
go.
worries. Well, in here, the recommendation I can give, in fact, is for people to avoid the coastal areas. I feel the wind, I feel the rain, and we all saw the images of people struggling in Nazaré. So yes, the waves can be brutal and amazing to
Yeah,
watch, but there were people being blown away by the wind, and this can happen almost without notice because the winds change really quick and the wind gusts come really, really quick. So sometimes people are just caught, in the moment, and it's tough. Okay, but yeah, we expect to have a little bit better weather. I was checking the forecasts first week of February, so around the 9th, 10th, supposedly it should start getting slightly better. Even during the first week of February, it should start to get a little bit better. But as you mentioned, this is a winter that we didn't have probably for like 2 decades or so.
yeah,
But yes, I remember having winters like this and some landslides and some roads, kind of sliding here or there. I remember those things. So
floods,
we
floods,
we
lots of
yeah, and
floods all
floods.
over the country.
So
Yeah,
we've been having several years without issues or with minor issues. We were not used to this,
yeah, yeah.
but I remember this kind of stuff happening. So we need to just get along with it. Of course,
Yep,
it can be a little bit annoying, but always look at the glass half full, because in fact there are other things that can be done, and there's other stuff to do. And I was just checking here. One of the comments from Laurie. The best thing that you can do is eat with the locals or the local establishments. I'm pretty sure that you find one of those great local spots. They will take good care of you with very comforting and warming food and beverages. Because what we really like it's to welcome people and to make them really feel they're having a great time even when it's pouring rain outside. But yeah, we will keep posting on this. We will keep talking about this. And as you mentioned, Gabriel, earlier, we really want people to ask their questions, to post here on the group with their questions, because not only from us, but from other travelers, they can get some advice.
Exactly.
We already have some people that um, have been here for a while. Some live here. Some are already coming for a vacation in the winter, or the third or fourth time, so they know a little bit about
Yeah.
here. And those
Mhm.
people are really happy to help, like we are as well. So the best thing that we can advise, it's really post on the group, ask your questions, and the more people ask the questions here on the group, the more people will join the group, and the better opinions and better answers you will get. So I know that we could be here, talking and chatting and having a really nice conversation,
Yeah,
but
time flew
yes,
by.
yeah, the time flies, and I don't want to make this to feel too long. But yes, we are here to help, and always look at the glass half full. That's what I can say, because in fact, well, that's what we've been doing around here. So we had winters like this long time ago. We were not used to them, but they are back. Next year, well, what's going to happen? We don't know.
No.
But at least for now, well, let's take it as it is, and let's just move forward.
Yeah, fill our
So,
reservoirs with
guys,
water. And
sorry, Sergio.
yeah, let's fill our reservoirs with water because we don't
Yeah,
know if next
exactly.
year we're going to have it again.
Yeah, we don't
So
know,
water is
but
precious. And you were speaking about the glass half full, and for people needing another incentive to come to Portugal. Well, I'll just say this: Portugal just racked up another award as of today. Superboc, gluten-free Superboc, was recognized as the country winner at the World Beer Awards 2025. So we
okay.
have best gluten-free beer in the world.
Well, let's try it.
Yeah,
So,
and it's
uh,
Superboc, not
yeah,
Sagres.
yeah. Well, that's like saying that the FC Porto it's the best team in the world, but well, each one to its own opinion. You know which is the best beer you can get? The coldest one. That's my opinion.
True.
But it is what it is. So, guys, well, from my side, I'm pretty much done over here. I don't know if you want to add something else. I just want to thank
No,
everybody who
I
has been
just wanna
watching.
I just wanna let people know that if they wanna know about some very nice restaurants, sometimes away from the touristy spots in the middle of the countryside, the hills, wherever, this is the Unplugged, the Portugal Unplugged. So just ask us, even if we don't post in public, maybe we are able to help you in private. So go ahead, because there are wonderful spots here, and even when it's raining, you can enjoy a nice meal right next to a fireplace in a beautiful
Oh
spot,
yeah.
drinking some good wines. So, I mean, Portugal still a paradise, even if it's under some water. Well, Sergio, do you want to say something
No,
else?
that's pretty much it. I want to thank everyone, especially all of our new members, because we've been seeing some
Oh yeah.
amazing growth on a group as of recently. And so I want to thank everyone for joining in, for asking their questions, and for putting up with these three stooges every Monday on our live sessions.
Yeah,
So I'm
exactly.
gonna say my goodbyes. Wish everyone a good week. Stay safe. Stay out of the rain. And we'll be back next week, next Monday, with
See
another
you.
topic.
See you next
Sometimes,
week. Thank you everybody for watching. Have a good
Okay,
evening.
and before I say goodbye to you and to our guests, I'm just gonna tell Lori Martin that my dear, just post your question, because then we're gonna help you, okay? I know some lovely restaurants around Carveiro, but I want you to post, and we wanna keep talking about this, okay? Bye bye, guys. Have a
Thank
great
you.
week ahead, and see you next Monday. Bye
have a
bye.
Thank
great
you very
week.
much.
Bye.